We're going live. All right, Kimberly, welcome. Excellent. All right. Kimberly, welcome. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you haven't for a moment.
Hello.
Okay, great. Glad you joined us. So
Thank you.
you weren't able to join early enough to get much of a briefing, but meet Vazrik, our
sorry.
timekeeper,
Okay.
and I'm Mark. The other
Hi.
candidates you know. So welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions before we start?
No, none that I can
Okay.
think of.
Okay. All right. So we'll start officially at the 6 o'clock hour.
Okay.
This event is now live and recorded, and I'll make official introductions in just a moment as we wrap up to 6 o'clock. Okay, there we go. Okay. 6 o'clock. We're now live. Let's see. Close that. Okay. Welcome to the AFT College Staff Guild 1521A Los Angeles Community College District Office Chapter Executive Candidates Forum. Welcome to you, our Guild brethren who are watching live and you who are watching at a later date. We'll be presenting a series of questions where each candidate has the same allotted time for their answers. Please meet your election committee members for these May 22 elections. Vazrik, please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vazrik Karavidian. I'm working at the district office at the moment. I'm the timekeeper for the time.
Okay, Vazrik, why don't you hold up your time card for a moment? There you go. Thank you so much. Our other committee member isn't here. She's out for a family event, but I want to mention that one of Bertha's work has been indispensable here on the elections committee, and I want to give a shout out to her, but Bertha Lopez is one of the other election committee members. My name is Mark Bergquist. I work in the financial aid office of student services at Los Angeles Valley College, and I'm currently serving as your election committee chairperson for this election. In order to accommodate everyone and give the candidates time to respond to questions and deliver a personal statement at the end of this forum, your election committee members will be tracking and managing the allotted speaking time. Vazrik is speaking as our timekeeper. Vazrik will raise the time card when the allotted time is reached. If any candidate goes over the allotted time, your host will mute the candidate at a count of 10. Because we have the 3 candidates who will appear on the ballot, we're providing 2 minutes for the general series of questions. And at the end, each candidate will have a time for up to 3 minutes to make their own personal candidate statement. The election committee notes that at this time, there is no candidate on the ballot for this chapter for chapter chair for the district office. However, a member of the district office chapter can run as a write-in candidate, and chapter members have the option to vote for a write-in candidate for the district office chapter of the 1521A. Now let's meet the candidates of the Los Angeles Community College District Office chapter of the 1521A. We'll ask each candidate individually to introduce themselves by name and the office they are running for. Let's first turn to the candidate for grievance representative, Kimberly Davier. Kimberly, please go ahead.
Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly DeVilliers, and I am running for grievance representative for the ESC. I am currently working in the Office of Information Technology on the 3rd floor. So if you see me in the elevator, I'm the person with the braids and that mask where you can't see through. And so that's what, that's the introduction to me if you don't already know me. I've been working, do I give more information or just that for now?
That's a good place to start. Thank you so much, Kimberly. That's good. And then let's turn to our candidates for chapter delegate. Gloria Moreno, please go ahead, Gloria.
Yes, good. Hello. My name is Gloria Moreno. I currently serve the ESC, the district office, as the first delegate. And I do work in the payroll retirement unit. And I have been an employee and a member of AFT 1521A for 22 years.
Wow. You don't look it.
Thank you, Gloria. And also another candidate for chapter delegate of the district office chapter, Abraham Horowitz. Please go ahead, Abraham, and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Abraham Horowitz. I am currently serving as the second delegate for the district office on our AFTE board. I work in the HR entry services department here at the ESC and the human resources department. And I have been a member of AFT ever since I started working for the district about 7 years ago.
Thank you, Abraham. And thank you to our candidates for introducing themselves. Now we're going to turn it over to Vazrik to read the first of the chapter executive job descriptions. And then Vazrik will read the first of these questions. Please go ahead, Vazrik.
Okay, the duties are include but not limited to the following: to represent members at the work site through direction of the chapter chair, to develop awareness of the AFT staff guild on the work site and develop rapport with worksite colleagues and administration, to plan, organize, and assist the chapter chair with executive board and chapter members meetings, to participate in the recruitments of new members and members to the worksite executive board, to build representative structure and assist in a worksite communication structure, to attend consultation meeting with the worksite president to discuss current concerns and issues, to represent the staff guild per chapter chair appointment on worksite committees, to consult with the worksite grievance representative, grievance secretary, president, and/or executive director on contract inquiries to ensure the contract is being interpreted accurately, to assist guild members with inquiries, and to serve at the backup to the chapter chair for worksite grievance representative if the grievance rep is absent. So there are 3 questions. I will start the first one with Gloria. Gloria, how do you plan to fulfill your role if you are elected as chapter delegate?
Yes, well, as a first delegate this current term, I have learned a lot. I have served as far as to helping our chapter chair with all of the organizing of chapter meetings. We are attending meetings with HR, which is with our vice chancellor. This time around, we organized meetings with our PC director for the first time ever. Our chapter has been able to meet with the PC director to talk about PC concerns and inquiries. So I plan on continuing what I've been doing for these past 2 years. Definitely my priority has always been to be there for the chapter chair, to work hand in hand, to fill in when our chapter chair hasn't been available. I do make myself available to all of our members. It doesn't matter the date or the time. I do have a rule for myself where I do answer and reply to emails within 24 hours. And just fulfilling my duties as a first delegate, just listening to our members, doing what I need to do to help the chapter chair. And I know that I also am the backup for the grievance rep. And the most important thing that I think is to fulfill my duty is to know my contract. And that is something that I have studied through these last 2 years. And I'm very comfortable in saying that I know our contract. And I have established a very good communication, a professional communication with district management.
Thank you, Gloria. Abraham, same question for you. How do you plan to fulfill your role if you are elected as chapter delegate? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you so much. So much as Gloria said, I've been working in many of the same areas with Gloria when it comes to chapter chair meetings, our discussions, our consultations with HR, and now with PC. In addition, I also tend to try to make sure that while I'm at the district office, I'm making sure to reach out to members that I encounter and just, make sure that my face is known, let them know, hey, they can come to us with anything. They can ask any questions. fielded plenty of questions, especially I know what's been on a lot of members' mind is, of course, the ongoing contract negotiations. And, I let them know we're pretty close. We're on that home stretch. We're on just one issue really. And that's what you're seeing with our publications coming out from AFT is really focused on a specific issue, is because that's the one issue that we're stuck on right now. In addition, I want to try and see if we can continue our outreach efforts, continue to find new and innovative ways that we can connect with membership and let everyone here at the district office who is a member of AFT 1521A know that, this isn't just some shadow organization that goes off and represents you like, the House of Representatives or the senators. We're here, we're in the trenches with you, and you too are part of this union. You have a voice the same as anyone, whether you're in an elected position or not, and anyone and everyone is welcome to add their voice and their efforts wherever they want to bring it in.
Thank you, Abraham. Second question, Abraham, do you feel our guild has made sufficient effort to be transparent with guild membership? How will you increase transparency to build trust and communication with members in our local? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, thank you for that question. I think that's been very much a big focus actually of our chapter these past 2 years, is trying to figure out how to reach out to members. There's by all means the willingness to provide transparency. A lot of things have been through email, and it may be, quite frankly, just a situation where maybe that email situation doesn't reach out to people like we think it is. I do know that in my work with the communications committee, we've been working on new communications tools such as the Hustle app to help reach out to members. And I think that's something that we can prioritize as something as that gets built out, to better reach out to our members, to help them know when our meetings are for the chapter meetings, know what publications are going out. Really the biggest thing when it comes to transparency is not so much been a lack of wanting to give out that information, but making sure that we find a way to reach our members where they're at, so that they do indeed receive that information and are able to feel like they're informed and a part of the process.
Thank you, Abraham. Same question, Gloria, for you. Do you feel our guild has made sufficient effort to be transparent with guild membership? How will you increase transparency to build trust and communication with members in our local? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Absolutely. I do feel that the effort has been made for the transparency. I know that has been a big focus. Our union has started with the constant contact, with the updates through the BAT team as far as to negotiations. They make our profit and loss available, which I know that in the past, a lot of our members were a bit concerned of not knowing where to get these documents to be able to view them. So absolutely, I do think that transparency has been dealt with. It's a work in progress. And even at our chapter level, it is a work in progress, but we have tried and we will continue to improve on our communication with our members via email. Just when I know that when I walk into the office, I always try to walk on the different floors, see who's there, talk to our members one-on-one, ask them, do you have any questions? I know that helps them feel that they're a part of what's going on. The one-on-one conversation, I know it helps them see that, we're there to answer their questions. We have nothing to hide. Ask us what you need to ask us. We'll get you the answer if we don't have it at the moment. But to improve the transparency, I know that at the chapter level, we will continue with the communication and the one-on-one contact with our members.
Thank you, Gloria. The last question for the candidates. I'll start with Gloria. How do you plan to support the chapter chair if you are elected? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Like I did say, I do serve as a first delegate right now. And I make myself available to our chapter chair 24/7. There's times where it's been 2 o'clock in the morning and we are working on something, whether it be communication via email to our members or the agenda for our chapter meeting. So I do plan on continuing that, making myself available to our chapter chair to reach out to me when they need help. The other way that I plan on supporting our chapter chair, which I do now, is that I take on a lot of the responsibilities. We have hiring committees, and that is one of my responsibilities, where I go ahead and I assign one of our members to our panels for interview panels. I work on agendas. I help the chapter chair plan and the chapter meetings. I help in the planning of the PC and the HR consultation meetings. But most importantly, I go ahead and I help with reaching out to our members and getting the information out. I am part of the BAT team and the stipend committee. So just being on the BAT team, I report back to our chapter chair so that we can go ahead and filter down information to our members.
Thank you, Gloria. Abraham, same question. How do you plan to support the chapter chair if you are elected? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, I would say that, the main thing is to, just as Gloria so eloquently stated in her own answer to this question, is making myself just indispensable, whenever he or she needs me. I'll be there for the chapter chair. It's one of those things where, as a delegate, it's not about anything to do with, any sort of ego or anything like that. It's about knowing that you're there as someone to serve your members and to reach out, and whether it's serving on the BAT team or being part of meetings, helping plan things, being part of consultations. We're there to help there to be an extra pair of eyes and ears and another voice to help the chapter chair, in the performance of their duties. In addition, of course, I've worked with Gloria quite a bit in my own professional role with the hiring committees, and have always let her know, hey, if you can't find somebody here, I've got the certification. I can sit on those committees for the guild and I'm happy to do it anytime, because at the end of the day, if we don't have somebody there, if we're not there at the seat of the table, then the AFT's voice isn't there. And that's what's most important here at the end of the day, is assisting the chapter chair and making sure that our members have a voice in every part that we have bargained.
Thank you. Thank you, both candidates, for your all responses. Now I'm gonna hand over to Mark to continue the next section. Mark.
Thank you, Vazrik. Thank you to our candidates. I'll now read the duties of the grievance representative. Grievance representatives chapter duties. Duties include, but are not limited to, the following: to understand the need for and be willing to receive ongoing grievance training, have knowledge and implementation of Article 22 grievance procedure, including timelines, processes, investigation, and documentation. To attend regularly scheduled staff guild worksite grievance representative meetings. To provide counseling, consultation, training, and guidance to worksite membership. To prepare, file, and argue grievance on behalf of the grievant under direction of the grievance secretary. To present possible arbitration cases to grievance review committee. to assist in preparation of arbitrations under the direction of the grievance secretary, to serve as a resource to the worksite chapter chair, to understand and apply pertinent information and updated materials to worksite grievance, to participate in grievance and arbitration seminars and union labor conferences. So now we turn to the first round of questions for the district office grievance representative candidate. Kimberly, how do you plan to fulfill your role if you are elected as a grievance rep? You have 2 minutes to make your reply. Thank you.
Thank you. I plan to start with a CLEAR approach. It's an acronym that I made up myself. And CLEAR stands for communicate, listen, empathize, assist, and respect our members. And through communication is to provide the members with the amount of communication that's necessary to assist them with any grievance process or a preliminary attempt to potentially file a grievance if necessary and required. Listening to the members to understand what their issue may be and how it may relate to the grievance process. Empathizing with members, because in my experience, a person that might come to the position where they believe that they need a grievance, is looking for empathy, is looking for someone to understand what they may be going through. To assist the members through research and support of information that might be pertinent to their filing agreements, again, if necessary. Assisting them again through support and research methods, and respecting the members and respecting their position and how they feel about whatever may have caused them to come to the point where they believe that they may have a grievance. Having been in some very intricate grievance processes myself with the district, I understand some of the tactics that are used by the district to support their position against, or their position when an employee has a grievance, and to understand those strategies and help to support members through those difficult and trying times as they may be. Also to make sure that the members are understanding their contract, and also if in fact their issue actually applies for a grievance. And so in my experience, sometimes we don't know, and I didn't know that some issues don't give rise to grievances. So having someone that understands and able to be well informed about the contract, help guide us to the contract, and help us support in whether or not we need to be, filing a grievance is important. Sorry, time.
Kimberly, thank you for your replies. Here's a second question related to this position. How is your relationship with administrators? You have 2 minutes to make your reply. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think that the administration has a minimal respect for me, but to be quite honest, it's not the most amenable relationship. And that's okay, because as a grievance rep, sometimes you don't get to be friends with the people you sit across the table from. And that happens in a lot of matters where, sometimes the matters can become contentious. But my relationship with the district is such that they understand that I have a breadth of knowledge that helps me and that could help others support them in situations that might, again, give rise to a grievance. Also, they know I'm very well informed. I have enough education and background. I was previously a paralegal, so I've worked with attorneys before. So I know the appropriate way to maintain professionalism, to work in support of obtaining whatever our ultimate goal may be, and in negotiating and using whatever mechanisms that we have that are available to us to bring about the best outcome. Sometimes the best outcome is that the person maintains their job, maintains respect for management, and it's not always easy to get that, but you can work toward making that happen and getting a healthy understanding, even if it's an agreement to disagree, and to move forward and to make sure that members are always respected in their position, which is important to me, and that we have everything that we need to work safe and have an environment that as best we can promotes a healthy atmosphere and a culture that makes us feel supported and welcomed when we come into work.
Kimberly, thank you so much for your response to that question.
You're welcome.
Here's the third question for this position of grievance representative. How do you plan to support the chapter chair if you are elected to the position of grievance representative? You have 2 minutes to make your reply. Please go ahead.
by being available to support the chapter chair in whatever matters that where my assistance may be requested, and to ensure that the chapter chair has what he or she may need to support them in moving forward in whatever the agenda may be for that particular day or for that particular situation. Again, like what each delegate has said, Abraham and Gloria have proposed, is making yourself available to support the person in their position and being an asset and being a person that's available and, who is encouraging the chapter chair to move forward and to ask for their support. So just being here, being supportive, and making sure that the knowledge that I have is in support of the chapter chair and what's best for our members overall.
Thank you very much for your reply to the questions. I'd like to thank our candidate for responding to these questions. I'm now going to turn it back to Vazrik to ask a few questions to all of our candidates. Vazrik, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mark. So the first question, I will start with Gloria. What prompted you to become an active member in the union? You have 2 minutes to respond.
What prompted me to be an active member of the union is back a while back, issues that happen in our department. And at that time, I went to our chapter chair, which is very helpful to me. But in working hand in hand with her to resolve, issues in our department at that time, I will always remember what she told me. She told me that I needed to know my contract, first of all, and I needed to take part in what went on as far as to union. And I realized that she was right. You can't just be a complainer. You can't just be a person that wants somebody else to deal with your issues or take care of your issues. If you want something to be done, you should be an active member of the union, participate, help, be involved. The union is for us. They're there to help us, but we need to meet them halfway. So just wanting to be part of the union so that I can help others learn their contract. And most important, like I said, I just didn't want to be a person that complained. I wanted to be a person that made a difference. I wanted to be able to voice out, not just for myself, but I know there's a lot of other people that are not comfortable in voicing out. And I just wanted to be an individual that could voice out for myself and for other people.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much. Abraham, same question for you. What prompted you to become an active member in the union? You also have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you. Well, for me, I think it was somewhat similar to what Gloria had. I was sitting there. I wasn't happy with the way I personally was experiencing things when I was first working at the district with LACC, and I went to my union, and it seemed like it was a little bit far off in that chapter at that time. And so eventually I just said, you know what, if I want to be able to get a better result for myself, I need to be part of that conversation, and not just for myself, but for others, because if, you see one person, you might think, oh, that's, unfortunate for them, but it's not me. But you have to remember that we're all in this together. And if they can do one bad thing to one person, they get away with it. At any time we could be, you could be next, I could be next, whoever. And so the only way to truly stand strong and make sure that not only yourself, but all of our members are in a position where they're having a positive and respectful work environment is to sit there and be willing to do the work for it. And so I said, well, I'm going to have to get to that. And that is what made me decide to be an active member. Started by just joining the bargaining action team before the last elections. And then that spurred me to say, hey, why not just go ahead and try and be a delegate? And it's been a great experience, learning and and growing and continuing to add not only my own voice, but those around in my office who also felt like their weren't heard, and bringing their voices to the table, whether it be in e-board or in district office chapter meetings, and or even in consultation, just bringing up an issue that they may be having, just to let them know. And that's been a really good.
I'm sorry, that's all the allotted time we have, Abraham, for that segment.
Thank you, Abraham. Kimberly, same question for you. What prompted you to become an active member in the union? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Honestly, I kept complaining, and I was complaining to people, and they said, well, why don't you become active? Why don't you take an active role? And at first I said no, because it just didn't seem well run to me at the time. And I just felt like I didn't want to be a part of a sinking ship. But then fast forward, when I got to a situation where things got untenable in IT, I felt that I didn't have the representation that I needed. And eventually I got that, through a different set of membership leadership at that time. And then I was inspired to say, you know what, this is very likely going to happen to other people and other members. And having experienced what I did experience with the district and seeing some of the tactics and sneaky, underhanded things that were done to me, I realized the best person to advocate for others would be someone who could see it coming, who had been through it, who had taken the necessary steps, which I had to figure them out, a lot of them myself, and a lot of that navigation. And if I had someone available to help me through navigation, it could have gone differently. I believe the district could have been stopped in their tracks at different points. And I think that because I now have that information and that experience, I can help others to try to mitigate some of the damages and some of the trial that I suffered and some of the impact that I absorbed in going through the process of a couple grievances ultimately. And so I think that I'm the best person to help members when they potentially, unfortunately, get into some of the situations, some of the snags that might give rise to filing a grievance or something similar, or some kind of disciplinary action or some unfair targeting of employment action. I believe that I'm the best person to help members, and I, ended up doing what I needed to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Second question, I will start with Abraham. Our guild has recently gone through a contentious time. What are your goals for the local in the next few years? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, my major goal is first, of course, let's get this contract negotiations to finish down the home stretch, and do whatever I can as a member of the union to help that, whether it's in an elected role or not. After that, it's mainly outreach. Let's build a strong community. Let's keep building a stronger chapter so that with every negotiation, the district knows absolutely that they have a strong union that they're dealing with, and that the members know that they have a strong representation fighting for them. So that's my major goal is first, let's get the contract done, and then let's get that get everybody together and connected.
Thank you so much, Abraham. Kimberly, same question for you. Our guild has recently gone through a contentious time. What are your goals for the local in the new few years? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Immediately, I agree with Abraham. Support the current contract negotiations. I've done that by texting people, asking them to sign the petition each time that we've gotten it, and letting people know and making people aware that contract negotiations are still going on and that we should be in strong support. So I do that personally outside of any formal vehicle, to text people that I know whose personal information that I have, or email them to support the current contract, because we're only as strong as the contract that we have. Also potentially as grievance representative, to prevent attacks against members of our unions, to build a strong offense, so that maybe the district administration in its current state thinks twice before they make certain moves and certain maneuvers that they know are not within contractual parameters. And also so that if they thought about doing it, they might think twice and just not come after members in a way that I've seen, not just myself, but a lot of others who, once they learned of some of my situations, started confiding in me and some of the things that they're going through throughout the district, and to support our membership in every way that I can to effectively, at the end of the day, to be quite honest with you, all I want is for the district to understand we are so much stronger than whatever they think. And that together, if we stand together, work together, and get to know each other a little more intimately if possible, we can work together to learn about some of the things that are going on, and so that we become well informed, so that we can collectively stand together and, and to show solidarity and strength. So maybe the district won't do some of the negative things I've seen done, and that we see more positive things come out for our members. It's not a us against them, but it's to protect us as we work hard, we continue to work hard and to get what we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. And same question for Gloria. Our guild has recently gone through a contentious time. What are your goals for the local in the new few years? You have 2 minutes to respond.
My goals are to continue building on the communication that in these last 2 years we've had with our members. To me, communication is very important. Listening to our members is also another goal of mine, to make myself more known and more available to our members, to listen to their concerns, to listen to their suggestions, so that we can be advocates for our members. Another goal of mine that I have is to get our members more involved in our union. I know that these past 2 years, it's been difficult because a lot of us have been working remotely. So it's been difficult to get our members involved, because through Zoom or emails, it's not the same as when you're in the office in person, but definitely getting our members involved so that they can see that the more involved they are, the bigger difference that they make, and the stronger that we become as a union, just to show management that we are together. We are together, and we mean business. Don't take us for granted. We mean business. But so communication, listening to our members, and getting them more involved are definitely some of my goals for the next 3 years or so.
Thank you, Gloria. And the last question, I will start with Kimberly. What are your views on how the district has been handled their vaccine policy and other mandates? You have 2 minutes to respond. You are muted, Kimberly.
Thank you. As far as the vaccine policy, I think that in some manners, the district hasn't been consistent with the County of Los Angeles. And I think that the mandate policy could have better mirrored and reflected the county's legislation. Because we are representative of LA County in terms of our population, of students and faculty and staff. And so we should be held to a mirrored standard. It gets confusing for employees as well as students when you're trying to navigate outside the district doors and inside the district doors with differing policies. So if they could have been more mirrored, it would have, to me, been a greater benefit. I think in some cases for students especially, the mandates and the requirements on providing the vaccination information wasn't always clearly communicated, and there could have been a better way to do that. I think that the vaccines were mandated by the government, so it was something that we had to do. And so as government employees or state employees, it was something that we should take ownership of and apply as necessary. But I think that the district definitely could have handled it differently and made it a more seamless approach. at some point, depending on where you worked and location, it seemed a little punitive for some people. And so in the cases where it could have been case by case, I don't know that it was necessarily applied. And I just felt like in some cases it was too stringent. But I wasn't involved in intricate meetings related to the vaccination, so I really can't say. Maybe they had information I didn't have. But based on what I knew, the district could have done a better job of making it comparable to what the county was offering, for the population at large.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Gloria, same question for you. What are your views on how the district has been handled their vaccine policy and other mandates? You have 2 minutes to respond.
I know in attending the COVID response meetings, I know that the district tried to do what was best for the majority of the employees to try to keep us in a safe environment because there were essential departments that needed to come into work. But in the same hand, I feel that the district could have been a little bit more clear as far as to what they were wanting from us. And the district, I think, should have been more sure of the things that they were implementing to make sure that they were going to work. Because I know that a lot of our employees, whether they're our members or not, were a bit confused as far as to what was expected of them to do. And expecting us to do what they wanted us to do by a certain date. And if not, we were going to start getting notices and possibly lose our jobs. I know that that caused a lot of stress on a lot of our employees and members. So I wish that the district could have handled that much better as far as to communicating what they wanted from us. Other than that, I mean, what can I say? You know, there's a lot of us and it's hard to kind of go one way or the other when you want to keep everybody safe. But they could have done a better job in communicating what they wanted us or from us, and timelines, you know, instead of giving us, I felt, short notice as far as to some timelines, they could have approached that in a different way.
Thank you, Gloria. And same question for you too, Abraham. What are your views on how the district has been handling their vaccine policy and other mandates? You also have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, thank you. This is definitely an issue that's a little bit closer to heart for me because I was very much in the trenches as far as the district is concerned when it came to handling some of those mandates. I was, tasked with going through and making sure that we received and get the emails for TB risk assessments, because that was also happening at the exact same time. And unfortunately, we're understaffed. There's 3 people handling the entire district for that. I think it was a little bit clunky, the rollout for the actual vaccine mandate when it came to the cleared for work, making sure that that was clear and how to access that. I think it was a little clunky that it required a specific dedicated link that had to be sent to you. And we have a lot of people who aren't as tech savvy in the district, unfortunately, and that's just how it is. But they're still very good workers, and I think they deserved a little bit better reach out from that standpoint. Where we weren't able to sit there and go in through any other means to try and help them get registered, get their vaccines. And I dealt with plenty of people who turned in their TBs and said, "Here's my vaccine while I'm at it." And we had to let them know, hey, no, there's a whole nother separate system for that. And so I think the communication could have been better. I think the notices should have been a little bit further out, as Gloria mentioned, giving people more time to deal with it. And perhaps even some better reach out, maybe some hand in hand, maybe some workshops on how employees can actually meet those requirements, how they can go in and access cleared for work, teaching them how to use this, because it was a brand new system and it was just like you were expected to know how to do it.
Thank you, Abraham. And thank you all candidates for the responses to the questions. As we don't have any question from the attendees, I will turn it over to Mark for the next section, next session, sorry.
All right, thank you, Vasrik, and thank you to our candidates. This next section, we're done with the Q&A section. We're going to go to the candidate's personal statement. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to make his or her personal statement to their fellow chapter members. Let's start with Gloria. Gloria, you have 3 minutes to make your personal statement to the district office chapter members. Please go ahead.
Thank you. As I mentioned before, I have been a member of 1521A for about 22 years. And I've always had, or I've been involved in the union maybe in the last, I'd say 8 years in one capacity or another. This past term, I really got involved as the first delegate, and my biggest reward was getting to know everybody, being able to resolve work issues and helping people with their issues, with their concerns, answering their inquiries. I would like to continue representing the district office chapter on the executive board and in any capacity that our members feel that I can be more useful. My name will be on the ballot as a delegate. If you feel that I've done what I need to do as the first delegate this past term, I do ask that you go ahead and place a little check next to my name. Or if you feel that I can be more useful in any other capacity in our chapter, please feel free to write my name in. I will hold true to listening to you, bring your concerns to the table. I will be your voice as I have been these last 2 years, and I will work to the best of my ability to make a difference, to make sure that the communication is being filtered down to you, that you are aware of what's going on. And I will be involved, like I have been this past term, in attending the consultation meetings if I am elected, as a delegate, to continue. My priorities will be our membership, to make sure that everybody is listened to, that communication is getting out to you, that I make myself visible and available to all of our members. And just remember that a united union membership stays strong, it becomes stronger, and becoming stronger, we can go ahead and achieve greater things. Thank you.
And thank you, Gloria, for your statement. Now let's turn to Abraham. Abraham, this is your moment to make your personal candidate statement to your fellow chapter members. You've got 3 minutes to make your statement. Please go ahead.
Hi to all the members out there. Just want to speak out and say thank you for the confidence that you gave me, put in me last election to put me in as a delegate. I am excited and hopeful to continue doing that work, serving on the e-board, serving on committees, to helping do the work, continuing to do more and more reach out, getting to know more and more members, learning their stories, helping their voices get heard on the higher levels. I hope that you put your faith in me and put a check next to me, or just like Gloria, if there's another capacity you feel that you would like me to serve in, to write my name in for that. I think right now, a lot of issues that we've seen is people have had a little bit of an issue with having faith in how things are run in the district, in the country. But just know, if your eyes are in the news like mine, that the tide is actually on our side. The labor movement is rising, and I have every faith in you as the membership that we can continue to add our voices to that rising tide and build ourselves a strong contract for the coming years and moving forward. And I just hope that you put your faith back in me to help do that work. Thank you.
Abraham, thank you for your candidate statement. Let's turn to Kimberly. Kimberly, this is your moment to have your 3-minute personal candidate statement. Please go ahead at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Kimberly, and I'm running for grievance representative for the ESC. I've been with the district since 2003. I started at LA Harbor College, and I am now working at the EIC and the Office of Information Technology, which has undergone quite a bit of changes recently. The reason why I would like you to vote for me, or I think that you should vote for me, is because I'm here to protect you, protect us, and make sure that we are stronger as a union, as a group, and as a whole. I think that the most important thing to me is to protect our contract, of course, because it's what governs everything that's done for us, through us, and on behalf of us by the district. And so it's important that when the time comes, if you have to file a grievance or you're in an adversarial situation with the district, that you have the proper amount of support and that you have somebody that's not afraid to stand up for you and stand with you. And that's my goal, is to honestly, to bring down the amount of grievances that may need to be filed. And that, I believe, could happen just with my very presence as the grievance representative, because I just think the district knows to some extent that the people they think they can exploit, the people they think that they can scare, and the tactics that they think can be successful against some people won't work with me. They didn't work and they won't work. And I know enough about the contract, I know enough about labor law. I did take a course in employment law at UC Irvine when I was an undergraduate student. And I have worked with several attorneys formerly as a paralegal. So I have enough information to know what our rights are and where to consult to find out what's available to us and what will keep us protected. So I think that your grievance rep should be someone that's not afraid to stand up, not afraid to take some shots. I've taken quite a bit in the short time that I've been with the district. And I know enough to know that this administration does not play fair and that they do play favorites. And so if you've been with the district for any amount of time, I think that we know that even with the vaccine situation and coming back to work, I've been back to work since September, Monday through Friday. And some people are recently just now coming back to the district. There's some people who work from home today who are in the same unit. So there's a lot of unfair applications of what's going on in the district and who gets what. And there needs to be someone in place, and I would like to be that someone in place, that if and when we see something that's not uniformly applied that benefits all members, is not afraid to speak up and contact the appropriate individuals to say, hey, we see what you're doing and this is not fair to our members. And so please vote for me so that I can help you feel protected, and so the district knows that you have the right amount of strength and support to ensure that you have a better employment experience as best as possible. Thank you.
And thank you, Kimberly. And thank you to our candidates for your personal statements. That concludes the question and answer and the personal statement part of our forum for the Los Angeles Community College District Office chapter of the 1521A. Now some announcements for these elections. 1521A members will be voting for our local chapter executive board members for chapter chair, grievance representative, and chapter delegates. I want to observe again that at this time there's no candidate listed, for this chapter for chapter chair. So pay attention, or that you remember, you don't forget you have the option to do a write-in for that position and for other positions if you choose. 1521A members will also be voting to send 12 of our members to represent all of us of the 1521A to the National AFT Convention, which is held this year in Boston, Massachusetts. The option for AFT national delegate candidates to provide video statements and written statements is new for these elections and was completely optional for your AFT national delegate candidates. Please note that the candidates for national delegate were all provided the option to make recorded statements or written statements. Written statements provided to 1521A members will be going out to your last known address that the Guild office has on file. Recorded statements from AFT national delegates may be viewed on the Guild website this week. This chapter forum has been recorded and will be viewable later on the Guild website and Guild YouTube channel. Ballots for this election will be mailed out Tuesday, May 10th by AAA, the American Arbitration Association, which has handled our elections in the past, and again for this election cycle. All ballots must be received by 9 a.m. May 31st, 2022 at the listed post office box in order to be counted later the same day. The election committee encourages our fellow guild members to mail your ballots early, promptly, well in advance of the deadline so they may be counted. On behalf of the May 2022 election committee for the AFT College Staff Guild, Local 1521A, we'd like to express our thanks to the Los Angeles Community College District Office Chapter candidates for appearing in this forum and for their desire to serve our members. My thanks to the election committee members for their service, and thank you, our fellow guild members, for your time and attention. Remember, you are the union. Thank you. That concludes our forum for the district office chapter of the 1521A.
Thank you all.